This video is a video about how I got my first big break in Hollywood. The first person who I was introduced to in Hollywood was a woman who I had met in Seattle, Washington, who was a freelance journalist writer, and she happened to be working on an article for the Seattle Post-Intelligencer. I responded to that advertisement. She gave me a call and said, "I'm very interested in sitting down, meeting with you, and discussing your submission for this project that I'm working on." Subsequently, I met with her. She and I talked, and she said, "I am now even more interested in working with you, and what I'd like to do is, if you don't mind, I'd like to forward your information to Marianne Ruth, who is a famous Hollywood writer. She has written books for Oprah Winfrey, for Bill Cosby, and a number of other celebrities over the decades. She is working on a project, is what I was told, that consists of 19 mixed race high achievers. In other words, people who were African American mixed, Caucasian, and were considered high achievers, prodigious individuals, people who have scored high scholastically, academically, and have done well in the business world and so forth." So my information was submitted to Marianne Ruth. Thereafter, I received a call from the late Marianne Ruth, may she rest in peace. Marianne Ruth was someone who I came to know as a very dear, respectful, deep, loving person. She was very friendly. She was very intelligent. She was very smart. I mean, she was brilliant. She wrote so many books on African American history and diaspora, and she had this affinity for African Americans and for black people in general. She wrote a biography for Oprah Winfrey and Bill Cosby and others. And so at any rate, my chapter appears in one of her books. The book is titled Skin Deep. If you just type Robert Lee Taylor, Skin Deep, Marianne Ruth, and her name is spelled with two U's. It's R-U-U-T-H, and she was from Sweden originally, and then at some point had moved to Hollywood, wrote these books, and was the Golden Globe Awards administrator for so many years. If you type her name into IMDb, Internet Movie Database, Marianne Ruth, her first name is spelled M-A-R-I-A-N-N-E. There are two N's in her first name and two U's in her last name. So I appear in this book, Skin Deep, and after that, I actually had somewhat of a romance with someone in Hollywood. I met someone in Hollywood, and we dated for some time, and to this day, we're still friends. Next, and around the same time as the international release of Skin Deep, subtitled Real People Surviving and Succeeding, Half Black, Half White in America, I was contacted by 3 major U.S. corporations, 3 major U.S. businesses, all interested in doing business with me, and all offering major licensing deals. I was contacted by MP3.com after a number of successes that I had with my company on the MP3.com website, domain, network. One of my songs had reached number 5 in the United States of America online. I was also contacted by J. Walter Thompson, which at the time was the advertising arm of MGD, Miller Genuine Draft. So the Miller Genuine Draft company contacted me, also offering me a major licensing deal for which I was paid, along with Novelist and Pit Boss, who at the time were signed to AONN for the purpose of a single that they had released on an album that I put out, which was a compilation album titled The November 12 Project. That material is still available online, worldwide, in over 150 countries. Novelist and Pit Boss produced music on the soundtrack to the movie Crash, which debuted in 2005. I was also contacted by the famous Kenwood Audio USA, manufacturer of car audio systems and products. What Kenwood USA did was licensed material for the production of 30,000 CDs with the song I Didn't Know by Kansas Cali, which was a group signed to AONN, and which, as I indicated, had appeared on the November 12 Project, which I paid for and which my company released. I put out the November 12 Project. As I said, it's available in 150 different countries around the world. To this day, Novelist and Pit Boss were with a group called Kansas Cali. They comprised a group called Kansas Cali. Kansas Cali is now the Rockturnals, which is listed as an alternative rock group. Kansas Cali has produced R&B, rap, hip-hop, and a multitude of different genres of music. As I said, Kansas Cali has appeared on soundtracks to major movies in Hollywood. They also did some work on the Mr. and Mrs. Smith movie featuring Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. They also have worked with Afeni Shakur's company. Afeni Shakur, for those who don't know, some people don't know, that is Tupac, the late Tupac Shakur's mother, and her record label. Above all, I have worked with people in Hollywood, as you can clearly hear and see from the evidence. I appear in a book by a woman who is famous in Hollywood. I'm a chapter in one of her books. She's written, as I said, as a recap, books for Oprah Winfrey, Bill Cosby. I'm in one of Marianne Ruth's, the famous late Marianne Ruth's books. I have worked with people who are artists who are still currently working in Hollywood. I have been contacted by major U.S. businesses, major U.S. companies, major U.S. corporations. I have been paid by said companies, businesses, corporations. They have licensed my material. They have paid me to use my material. And not too many people who are independent record company staff, personnel, owners can say that they have had 30,000 materials, 30,000 CDs move. I am someone who can honestly say that my company has independently had 30,000 of our CDs shipped, moved. And those CDs were in the stereo systems of cars that were brand new, going off lots. In other words, people would buy a brand new car and there would be a Kenwood audio CD player in that vehicle, and of 30,000 different vehicles that sold off car lots throughout the United States, my song from the company, which was the song that I put out, that I paid for, and that is performed by Kansas Cali, previously known as, and now the Rockturnals. So our song, the song from my record label, AON Records, I Didn't Know, performed again by Kansas Cali, who are now in Hollywood, has moved 30,000 units thereof. Not too many people, again, can say that they've moved 30,000 CDs in any way, shape, or form. Most people, quite honestly and quite frankly, cannot afford to even purchase 30,000 CDs. And I'm talking about physical media. These are not online digital downloads. No, we moved 30,000 CDs courtesy of Kenwood, USA, the famous car audio manufacturer. I thank Yayoi Winfrey, who was the freelance journalist working in Seattle at the time, who had posted the advertisement in the Seattle Post-Intelligencer about individuals inquiring into the nature of individuals who had had run-ins with the police as youth, as young adults, who had been set up by local rogue police officers. That was myself, and I thank her, I thank you, I thank Yayoi Winfrey. She was the individual who was instrumental in getting my story to Marianne Ruth, the famous Marianne Ruth in Hollywood. It was Yayoi Winfrey, for the official record, who was in Hollywood, in and out of Hollywood, in and out of Santa Monica, California, and other parts of California, as well as the Pacific Northwest, working hard, working diligently, working steadfastly. It was Yayoi Winfrey who landed me my first book deal in Hollywood, and thus was instrumental in helping me get into the Hollywood scene. I attribute much of my success to her, and I'm not a hater. I congratulate, I never hate. So thank you, Yayoi, and I certainly have been a proponent of Watermelon Sushi, the movie that she has produced and written the script for, and check it out if you have not already, Watermelon Sushi by Yayoi Winfrey. Currently, I am the official manager, agent, CEO of a major independent media company, and TGWN, Team Great White North fashion modeling company owner, president, CEO, executive officer. I host a daily internet program for executive ratings and reviews. The book, Skin Deep, by Marianne Ruth, in which I appear, was given high marks and a great review by Players Magazine. You can visit my websites, social networks online at youtube.com/YFLO International. That's youtube.com/YFLO International. You can see me online at facebook.com/Langley, Virginia. That is facebook.com/Langley, Virginia. Twitter.com/TGWN Boy Band. That's twitter.com/TGWN Boy Band. Also, I have written 2 scripts for 2 separate movies that I am shopping to Hollywood. My movies are registered with the Screen Actors Guild. I'm also a member of ASCAP and have over 5 albums that I've released on the international market in over 150 countries, as well as some singles and solo projects. The 2 movies that I have written scripts for are 1, Nightmare Missions of the Clandestine, which, as I said, I've been shopping around Hollywood, and the other is another to-be-announced movie that I'm keeping top secret classified.